Welcome to another episode of Soft Signal. My name is Varun.
And my name is Aditya.
Yeah, it is 7 a.m. where I am. Today's episode from me might not be as coherent, but I will try my best. I have coffee here, so that's going to keep me company. But yeah, last week we did an episode on the best left-handers 11. We're not doing a best right-handers 11. We're not that predictable, but we are doing another 11 this week. We are going to do an all-time test match 11 with players who have played from 1990 onwards. They could have debuted before, but they have played since. And the caveat this time is that there's just one player allowed from each test playing nation. So as of today, there are 12 test playing nations. So we can, when we make the team, one can be excluded. I have a feeling it's going to be either Ireland, Zimbabwe, Bangladesh, or Afghanistan, but we'll see. So one we will have to have from 11 test playing nations basically, but a different player from each nation. Um, Couple of softer rules is that they have to be in the position that makes sense. So we won't say that they have to be in, like, if they batted five for 60% of their career, they have to be at five. But if they're open for 90% of their career, they cannot be at number seven, for example. And then also there has to be some sort of combination. So previously we've done either one spinner, three quicks, one spinning all rounder, one pace bowling all rounder. But there should be some variation. We can't pick four spinners, for example, unless it's being played in scuffed up pitch in uh, Ahmedabad or something. But we're assuming normal conditions. It could be in Asia, outside Asia. So yeah, before we start, anything you wanna add? It was difficult, right, to make the team?
Yeah, this was by far the toughest 11 that we've made because of the condition of having just one player from each country. I think that really made it complicated. And as a result, we were discussing before, some great players have not made the cut. Um, but yeah, that's the fun of this exercise, isn't it?
So yeah, let's just get into it. I'll start maybe with the openers. So this was difficult because I mean they were all difficult, but just had to balance the team. So we went through some openers last week when we did the left-handers 11, and to be honest, I think we mentioned it at the time also, but most great openers from the last 30 years, 35 years have been left-handers. So the list of nominees was similar. It was Matthew Hayden, Justin Langer, Saeed Anwar, Graham Smith, Warner, and then there was Sehwag also, but then you would take up the India slot. So do you put him in there? Do you take and then not include someone else from India? Um, and then of course there are others also. So I considered people from there's Cook, then the Strauss, then there are others from other nations as well. So I have gone with one of the people who I selected last week, uh, who was my captain. He's there as well this time. So Graham Smith is in my 11. He's going to captain the team, and he's the South Africa entry, of course. And then to partner him, it's someone who might be better known for his one-day exploits, and he's actually not. He wouldn't come to the top as a test opener, but he has very strong stats, an average of almost 40. He's a player. He's not Saeed Anwar, but he's also a player who tormented India fans in the 90s and part of the 2000s. It's Sanat Jayasuriya, uh, who also has a high score of 340 in Test match cricket. And I think looking up his stats, he has goes to an average of 40, and he provides an option with the ball as well. A very handy bowler. So my two openers are Graham Smith and Sanal Jayasuriya, which takes away the South Africa and Sri Lanka spots, which yes means there is no Murli in the team. What were your openers?
And no Sangakkara as well.
And no Sangakkara.
Uh, yeah, so this is why this exercise is so much fun, right? So um, you're right. I mean, I had a look at the openers as well, and obviously the names that we spoke of last time stood out again. So people like Matthew Hayden, Langer, Saeed Anwar, and just a host of others, Graham Smith, and you already selected him. I've gone for a completely different set of openers as compared to yours. So Alistair Cook is one of my openers. Because again, I would not have selected him normally, but I need to balance this team out. So I've gone with Alistair Cook at the top of the order. Um, his credentials as an opener, you cannot doubt them. You cannot challenge them. They're really good. 45 is he's got a career average of 45, 3300s, 12,500 runs. Alistair Cook is the second highest run scorer for England. Um, so yeah, so he fits into my team as opener, and that takes away the England spot. The second opener is an interesting one, and it's someone I would not have included in any 11. But again, in this 11, I need to because we are working with certain limitations. So my second opener is from Bangladesh. It's Tamim Iqbal. Um, had a look at his stats. They're not too bad. Average of 39, 10 hundreds, and he's got slightly above 5,000 runs. Um, so I've selected him. Of course, I could not have selected Hayden. I could not have selected Saeed Anwar. I could not have selected David Warner. I mean, there's so many openers, but then all of them are from the same country, from the similar sort of countries. So Hayden Warner from Australia, Saeed Anwar is from Pakistan, but then of course you want to keep that slot open for someone else. I think we are already giving away our 11, right? But that just goes to show how difficult this exercise was. So I've gone in for Tamim Iqbal and Alistair Cook at the top of the order. So that's one player from Bangladesh and one player from England.
Interesting choice. I considered both of them actually, but I wanted to save the England spot for a bowler or an all-rounder because I think there are, or a middle order bats with this. With so many great players, right, from each of these countries, except maybe Bangladesh and Zimbabwe. But yeah, Tamim Iqbal actually is, I feel, one of the better players from Bangladesh for sure over the past 20 years. India has some history with him in ODI cricket as well. So yeah, solid choices there. Okay, let's move on to 3 and 4. Do you want to go with your 3 and 4?
Yeah, so I'll go up with number 3 and 4. And these were like the hardest slots to fill, not because of the lack of options, but because of the number of options, right? Because we can't include all the great players in this 11 because of the one player per country rule that we have in place. So my number three is a stalwart of this game, probably the most complete cricketer since 1990, and I think you know who I'm talking about. He takes up the
Ashok
South
Dinda,
Africa
right?
spot. Sorry.
Ashok Dinda.
Yeah, you're not too far off. Exactly, not too far off. So, except that he's South African. That's the only problem. So, he's South African. He's a genuine all rounder. He's batted at numbers 3 and 4 in his career, with strong averages and strong records at both positions. So I'm going to go with Jack Callis as my number three. Um, his record is amazing. Like 55 is his average, 45 test centuries, 13,000 test runs, and 292 wickets at an average of 32. He will need to be bowling in my team as well, and he obviously takes up the all-rounder spot. Normally, all-rounders bat down the order at number 6 or number 5 maybe, but Callis spent most of his career batting in the top order and still coming into bowl. So Callis is such a valuable player. I could not look away from him. He is my number three in this team. Number four, there can be only one number four. I mean, probably the first or second name on this team list. I think everybody already knows who I am talking about, but Sachin Tendulkar is my number four batsman. Again, phenomenal record. 54 was his average. 51 hundreds. Can you imagine? Like the number of hundreds was almost equal to the number to his average. That's just outstanding. and then 15,500 runs. So Tendulkar slots in, walks in, strolls into this 11 basically at number four. And I'm already like excited at watching Tendulkar and Kallis bat. Like that's almost 100 international or 100 test hundreds between my numbers three and four. So yeah, so Kallis at three, Tendulkar at four, and with that go my South Africa and India spot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't pick Callis, of course, because I have Smith already. I actually didn't know that Callis batted at three, but I know this is difficult. So we might not have been his natural position, but yeah, we're allowing for some moving up and down. And yeah, Callis and Tendulkar is super strong at that at any position, but especially at three and four, coming in after your openers of Ball and Cook. So my number four is the same. So I'll just put that to rest. It is Tendulkar. Yeah, sorry if you noticed a bit of an edit, just some parenting issues. But yeah, so Sachin is at number four, without a doubt, for all the reasons you said. So I'm not going to repeat them because, yeah, and then it made it hard because I couldn't select Sehwag as an opener, I couldn't select Bumrah as a fast bowler, but it is what it is. So my number three is obviously not Callis because I can't select a South African. I did consider. Actually, there weren't many spots here after I had made the rest of the team because I had to then fit in someone from a particular country. So I have gone for a New Zealand player, and he's scored almost 10,000 runs. Average, I think, is exceeding 50, but he is part of the newer Big Four. So it is Kane Williamson at number three for me, and he fills in the New Zealand spot. I think he's is just because players from New Zealand in general are underrated. So like yeah, he's also he's a quiet performer in all formats, if and in tests as well as we said. I think he has close to 30 hundreds or might be slightly more, but yeah, he's definitely one in the top three test players of this current era. So yeah, Kane Williamson slots in for me at number three. And if Smith was not the captain, he could be the captain as well. He's a World Test Championship winning captain, so don't forget about that. Um, so yeah, my number three and four are Kane Williamson and Sachin Tendulkar. Any thoughts before I move on to the next ones?
Yeah, that's a good call with Williamson. But of course, I have not chosen Williamson. I've gone for another New Zealand player who we will get to. But Williamson is a fantastic player, of course. So interestingly, Callis, just to put it into context, has batted at number 378 times. So
Oh,
pretty substantial. He's batted most of his innings at four, that's true. But he's batted 78 innings at number three, and even there he averages almost 50, so 49.7 to be precise, with 900s. So so I think yeah, Callis will do the job at three.
yeah,
Williamson, of course, is a bona fide three. Like he's batted, I think, all his career almost at number three. So yeah, that's a strong number three over there. And but Tendulkar is Tendulkar, right? There's nothing more to say about him. So
okay. Okay, let's move on to five, six, seven. So this spot is normally like when we pick these 11, it's one keeper, one all-rounder, one batsman. I feel like it might be different for you since you already picked your all-rounder as well earlier, but you'll have a keeper in there. So and this is also where my people are not batting completely in the positions where they've always batted, but they have batted in these positions. And because of the balance of the team, they might move higher or lower. So I have one batsman, one keeper batsman, and one all rounder, but more of a, I don't know, I think he's a pure all rounder. So my number five, and you can challenge this. I can have an alternative. My number five is Brian Lara. I know he's batted most of his career at number four, but he has batted at five as well. I think especially initially in his career when I was googling this, but when he came to the team, Richie Richardson used to bat at number four, so he started his career and batted a lot of it as number five up to like the mid 90s. That's when he shifted to four and took up that spot. So I have him at number five. If you would like, we can. I am happy to replace him with Chandra Paul as well, because like we went over the the stats last week. Chandra Paul is a super strong number five. So he can slot in there also. So it's Lara slash Chandra Paul. But yes, my West Indies quota, my West Indies player gets the spot gets occupied there. Now, six and seven are not the strongest players, and I will spoiler alert: I don't have Adam Gilchrist as my keeper. So there's the first great player who misses out as in this. Like Adam Gilchrist would probably walk into any 11, right? Test 11 of all time, but he doesn't get into mine. So my number six is the keeper, and it is a Zimbabwe player, and I think the only player we could have. I'm assuming you might have selected him as well, but my number six is Andy Flower from Zimbabwe. Pretty much the stalwart of the 90s, early 2000s Zimbabwe team. He could have actually played for any test team in the world. Like he was one of the best players of the world at the time. Uh, I remember a double hundred from him against India to save a test match in India, and then numerous other innings, and then a very strong keeper as well. So Andy Flower for me is at number six, and that takes away my Zimbabwe spot. And then at number seven, I have a all-rounder who's a spinner. I have only one spinner later as well, so this kind of provides the second spinning option. So I have a Bangladesh player who you picked last time, and I did not pick, but it's Shakib Al Hassan. It's kind of funny how some of these players didn't get into a left-handers 11, but have got into the overall 11 just because of the rule of one per country. So, Shakib, just going back to Flower, Flower did bat a lot at 4 and 5, but he also did have innings at number six, and then Shakib, because of the quality of the Bangladesh team, tends to bat higher, but he has batted at seven as well. And with this team, with Lara, Tendulkar, Williamson, I think Shakib can come in at seven, and Shakib and Flower can float as well if they want. So to summarize, my number five, six, seven are either Lara or Chandrapal. I would prefer to have Lara, and then Andy Flower and Shakib Al Hasan.
Yeah, this is the beauty of this exercise. People like Adam Gilchrist don't make it to 11s. Like, that is incredible. Well, that being said, it's really unfortunate that Chandrapal always gets booted out because of Lara. Like, I mean, I think even when Chandrapal retired, he was made to retire because he was going to overtake Lara's runs scored in a couple of test matches. I have a feeling that there was a bit of sabotage when it comes to his retirement. So you've gone and done exactly the same thing. You booted Chandrapal for Lara. Not surprised. Yeah. That being said, I'll come to my number five, six, and seven. So my number five is Andy Flower. So again, you spoke about Andy Flower already. Superb wicketkeeper, batsman. Uh, I mean, he would have been, like you said, a clear entry in any team, right? He was that good. He was just playing for the wrong country, put it that way. But then he averages like 51, 1200s. He's got 4,700 runs, but that would have been much more had he played for another country and also played for a longer time. Let's not forget Zimbabwe was going through political turmoil at the time. And so all of these players' careers were cut short as a result. But even in the short time that he played, Andy Flower stood out, and he is my number five. So I don't have Brian Lara in this team um, because, unlike you, I have gone for Shivnarayan Chandrapal, and I've put him at number six because when I looked at the records, Chandrapal actually is the highest averaging batter at number six. So specifically at six, he's got an average of 65 with 700s, 2,500 runs. Um, and his overall average is actually above 50. He averages 51 with 30 hundreds, 11,800 runs. Chandrapal is probably the most underrated player in the game, in my opinion, anyways. He made it to my left-handers 11 as well last time, where he was batting at five. But I think his true batting position is six. At least that's what the records say. So Flower sits at 5, so he takes up the Zimbabwe slot. Chanderpaul at 6. Um, there were some other players that I considered as well. People like Steve Waugh, for instance, another legend of the game, used to bat at 5, 6, etc. But had I chosen Steve Waugh, I wouldn't have been able to choose my next player who bats at number 7, and it is Adam Gilchrist. So Gilchrist makes it to my 11 as both the captain and the keeper. So a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, but he's done it before. He was vice captain for Australia for a long time, but he used to stand in sometimes as captain as well. And of course, he was their wicket keeper and a real game changer, if you might call it that, batting in at number 7. Um, Really high strike rate for the time he played in. Still managed to average 47, got 1700s, and on many occasions bailed Australia out of trouble, coming in at number 7. So Gilchrist, a true legend of the game, I think. Wicketkeeper batsmanship was no longer the same after he started. It was a very different role that wicket keepers used to play before him, but he changed that. So Gilchrist has to be in my squad or in my 11, and he walks in at number 7. So just to recap, then Flower at number 5. So he's my Zimbabwe player. Chanderpaul, not Lara, Chanderpaul at 6, and Gilchrist at 7. So that's Zimbabwe, West Indies, and Australia.
Justice for Chanderpaul here on our pod. Heard it here first. I haven't seen the rest of your 11, but I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm asked curious why you picked Gilchrist as the captain over Cook.
I think Gilchrist is probably the better captain. Is it's again one of those situations where he was in an Australia team which enjoyed a lot of success under Ponting, but also a lot of that is down to the team they had at the time. Gilchrist has captained several IPL teams, and he's even won the IPL with Deccan Chargers, the second season of the IPL. That team doesn't exist anymore, but it used to be called Deccan Chargers back then. It was from Hyderabad. But I think Gilchrist was a good captain, like a really good captain. Didn't really get the opportunity to lead Australia as much, although he was their vice captain for the longest time. And I just think Gilchrist is such a likable personality as well. I think the team would sort of warm up to him. Not sure how much they would warm up to Alistair Cook. I mean, it's not like I know Alistair Cook personally, so I don't know what kind of a guy he is. But I just think Gilchrist, just the image he had in the media, whatever you might call it, he was yeah, he was a really nice, likable guy, and I think he would have led this team better than Cook, I think.
Yeah, and Cook also had some terrible records towards the end in
Yeah.
India and England and Australia. Okay, so let's recap the team so far. More so recapping the countries that we've already selected. So I've selected South Africa, Sri Lanka, New Zealand, India, West Indies, Zimbabwe, and Bangladesh, which means for the remaining 4 spots, I have Pakistan, Afghanistan, England, Australia, and Ireland left. And for your remaining 4 spots, you also have Pakistan, Afghanistan. You don't have England and Australia. You have Pakistan, Afghanistan, New Zealand, Ireland, and
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka left. Okay. So I kind of just know
You know
which
what my team is
ways your
already.
team is going to look. But yeah, we'll go through it because you can start the next section. So do you have 2 pacers, 2 spinners, or 3 pacers?
So I've got 2 pacers and 2 spinners because Callis will be my third seamer, and he's already been included. So I'm basically going in with 4 pure bowlers and 1 all-rounder, and that all-rounder spot is Callis.
Okay, so
Um,
you tell me, you can go for your pacers or spinners.
I'll go for my
I know who your
pacers
spinners are.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go for my pacers first then. So my first pacer takes up the Pakistan slot. It's the legend of the game, probably the most skillful bowler that the game has seen. He could seam the ball in, seam it out, swing it in, swing it out. Yorkers, slow ball bouncers. I mean, Wasim Akram did it all. He did it across formats. Since we're talking about test matches here, he took 414 wickets in his test career at an average of 23. Um, Wasim Akram, like you just need him, right? You need him in your team because he's going to be lethal up front. He's going to come back with the old ball and still have the ability to pick up wickets, even more wickets maybe. And not that I expect him to contribute too much with the bat, but if needed, he can also score a few handy runs down at number 8. So Wasim Akram is my entry from Pakistan and my first seam bowler. My second seam bowler is from New Zealand. Um, I'm sure you already have guessed who it is, but I've gone in for Shane Bond. Now, Shane Bond was again an exceptional bowler. He was fast. He was aggressive. He would take wickets. He was just very injury prone, and that's why he didn't have a very long career. But in the few matches that he did play, what stood out to me was not just his average. His average is 22, which is exceptional. But what stood out to me was his strike rate. So his strike rate is 38.7, which puts him up with the likes of Wakar Yunus and, Bumrah and all of these people. So if you're talking about sheer impact, Shane Bond, just to put it into context, has a strike rate of 38.7. Wasim Akram has a strike rate of 54. So strike rate is basically balls per wicket, isn't it? So Shane Bond is giving me a wicket every 6 overs. And in a test match, especially, that is quite amazing. And on top of that, he's got an average of 22. So he's not conceding too many runs per wicket and he's taking those wickets really quickly. Had he not been so injury prone, he would have probably gone on to take a lot many more wickets for New Zealand and really cemented his place as an all-time great. But yeah, Shane Bond is my New Zealand entry and my second pacer.
Yeah, great choices. I actually thought of Shane Bond a lot. Obviously, I didn't select him because I have Williamson, but I was thinking of dropping Williamson and taking Bond so I could play around with the order a bit. But yeah, ultimately, I thought that maybe he just hasn't played enough, but he has. I mean, he would have been one of the greats. He still is talked about so highly. So yeah, fair call with Shane Bond. I have Wasim Akram as well. Um, as my Pakistan entry and all-rounder, if you want to call it, but just one of the best of all time. And then I have two more pacers. So should I just go for them?
Yeah,
Because
go for them.
yeah,
Yeah.
because so I have this was so hard because I wanted to pick him, but then I did ultimately, but then I had to take away a lot of players from his team. I have Glenn McGrath from so my Australia spot gets occupied there, which also meant I couldn't have Vaughan, I couldn't have Gilchrist, I couldn't have Ponting, but that whole team was so good. So McGrath's the one who got selected because, yeah, I mean, incredible line and length, more than 500 wickets, the one of the best pace bowlers of all time. So my Australia spot goes there, and then my second, um, my third pace bowler is from England, and it's James Anderson, 700 wickets, most wickets by a fast bowler, which will very unlikely to get eclipsed as well. Um, Longevity as well, played for more than 20 years. If this is being played in swinging conditions, if you've been played in England, like, or New Zealand, he he would like cause havoc, especially with McGrath the other end. Wasim Akram to share the new ball as well. Like, just imagining that. I don't know who would take the new ball. Maybe Akram and McGrath with Anderson coming in, but they'll figure it out there. But yeah, my um, third pacer is Anderson from England. So my three pacers are, to recap, is Wasim Akram, James Anderson, and uh, Glenn McGrath. I think you like that attack would like send shivers down most batsmen's spines.
Yeah, I think so. That's one hell of an attack. I think yeah, I wouldn't want to be the batsman against that kind of an attack for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, what's interesting is that Anderson, 700 wickets for a fast bowler is incredible, and he was so fit right through his entire career. That's like amazing. The only thing about Anderson, if at all, is that his record outside England was not that great. And when I say outside England, it's not just in India, for instance, it was just in general outside England. But of course, that doesn't mean he is any less of a bowler. I mean, in English conditions, he was just magical. I mean, when he ran into bowl, you almost felt as if a wicket is going to fall at any time. So, yeah, James Anderson is a true legend of the game, and of course, Glenn McGrath. I mean, yeah, for Glenn McGrath to be in this team, he's like you said, he's kept out like the likes of Ponting, Gilchrist, Hayden, Steve Waugh, and all of those guys. So
Yeah.
you can just Shane Warne, even you can just tell how great the man was.
Two spinners you have. I know who they are, and I think you know who my one spinner is as well. But let's just talk through it anyway. Why
Yeah.
not?
So
Um, yeah, yeah, you can go for it.
oh yeah, I'll go. Yeah. So my first spinner is Rashid Khan, and I'm sure he's in your team as well. So nah, no surprises there. Now, again, he's probably in this team only because of the rule that we have. He's a superb T20 spinner, absolutely no doubt about that. His test match credentials, obviously you take that with a pinch of salt, right? Because he averages 20. His strike rate is 41, which is very good when you look at it. But he's only taken 45 wickets, and that's only because Afghanistan has only played like six test matches. So um, yeah, so Rashid Khan's in here only because of the rule. But that being said, he's shown that he's a skillful bowler. You can't be very good in T20 and not sort of. I mean, rather you can't not be a good bowler if you're really good or outstanding like he is in T20 cricket. You have to have skills which will be useful even in Test match cricket. So Rashid Khan is my first spinner. My second spinner again, my final entry, and also from Sri Lanka is Muthaiya Muralidharan. So again, very hard choice to make because I included Murli, so I had to keep the likes of Sangakkara out, and Sangakkara is an outstanding batsman as well. But Muralidharan, 800 wickets, fantastic career, single-handedly sort of carried Sri Lanka's bowling attack with some help from the likes of Vas, but overall, um, yeah, absolutely legend of the game. Amazing average 22, 800 wickets. I think he had like 60 odd 5 wicket hauls, which is incredible, right? Because um, that can happen only because of two things. One is you bowl all the overs for your team, or secondly, you are really that good. Now, you could say that Muralidharan bowled most of the overs for his team, which he did, but then his strike rate was 55. So that strike rate is as much as Wasim Akram, for instance. So obviously that means that even though he bowled a lot of overs for his team, he was taking wickets pretty regularly as well, which means that he was really good. And that's why he went on to take 800 wickets. So yeah, Muralidharan is my number 11, my second spinner, and my entry from Sri Lanka. So yeah, so that's my 11. So I've not picked any player from Ireland. Uh, but yeah, I've got a player from each of the other nations.
Yeah, no arguing with your choices, because especially because one of them is obviously mine as well. So I have just one spot left, and I needed to pick someone from either Afghanistan or Ireland. So I have gone for Rashid Khan from Afghanistan. All the reasons you said, right? Also because he fits in, and I think if they play more tests, he's apparently only 27. So yeah, if he can play for 10 more years, if they can play a few more tests, even if he plays like 30, 40 more tests, I think his figures would be right up there. But they have to just play more. But yeah, I think he is one of the bowlers of this era at least. So he fits in there. So I was just checking. We have four players in common. So we have Tendulkar, Flower, Akram, and Rashid Khan. as a four, and then the rest of the seven are completely different because, of course, like of this kind of expected because of this rule that we had. So let's recap your team first. It's Alistair Cook and Tommy McBall at the start, Kallis Tendulkar at 3 and 4, Andy Flower at 5, Chandrapal at 6, Gilchrist at 7. Chandrapal went, then Gilchrist would be quite a whiplash for the bowlers. And then you have to lead your pace attack, you have Akram and Shane Bond, and then you have Rashid Khan and Murli as the spinners. So no place for Vaughan, no place for McGrath, no place for Anderson. Um, just yeah, that's the way it went. It happened. My team has Graham Smith, and your captain is Gilchrist.
Gilchrist.
My team is Graham Smith, who's going to be the captain. Sanath Jayasuriya, Williamson, Tendulkar, Lara, Andy Flower, Shakib Al Hassan, and then Akram, Anderson, McGrath, and then Rashid Khan as the spinner. So there's no person from Ireland in either of our teams, and my team misses Murli, Vaughan, Stain, Gilchrist, Ponting, so many players, right? That's just the way. But I think this exercise, if we had done two per team, I think a lot of these people would have gotten, but then we would have missed out a lot of countries. So yeah,
Exactly. I mean, there have been so many great players over the years that you can actually make three teams
yeah,
of of different great players, and then the tough situation, the tough question then would be like, had those teams played against each other, who would win? Uh, but yeah, it's just shows the greatness of or the quality of players coming out of some of the countries.
yeah. So this was fun, and it would be these might not be the best 11s, but I think they are close to the best when you consider the condition. So, um, ooh, anything you wanna add before we um sign off for this episode?
Well, we should leave it up to our viewers to decide which one of those teams would win if they
Yeah,
go head to head against each other. Because looking at this, I feel that your team has the stronger bowling attack. My team has the stronger batting lineup. Uh, and who knows, test matches are won by bowlers these days, right? So, but we let our audiences and viewers decide that.
yeah. And if you want to come up with your own team as well, definitely put it in the comments. We'd love to read what your
Yes.
team is. It is an interesting exercise when you think about it. It seems like, oh, that's not a big deal, but then when you actually start to do it, it does become difficult. So yeah, we will be back next week with something else. We'll think of another idea, and then we will see you soon. But thank you so much for watching this one.
Yeah. Thank you and see you soon.